Yeah, Walk the Line is the film.
Yes, I've seen that. Good movie. Good story. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Glad to have you. So where do we want to start today, Rucka? I mean, accurate. Yeah, I can see 21 people in the audience. Is that missing for you? I do not. Oh yeah, I see him. I see him. He's here. I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm set as an admin for this. I don't have that option over the name. Welcome, sir. Welcome. He's hard. He's hard muted right now. His server muted. He's got a red microphone server muted next to his name.
I have no mouth and I cannot scream.
Welcome.
No, maybe that's not even it. I'm trying to unmute him. I don't see an option to unmute him. Hmm. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna try something. What if you move him to the echo voice chat okay, here we go. I think that did it. I think so. He's gonna have to come back up though. Lucas, if you don't mind coming back up, please, sir. Or no, he's
His hand is
dead.
up.
There we go.
There he is. Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Phew.
I'm doing well. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Sure, for sure, man. Some of you I know and love, many of you know and love me, but at the same time, I see a lot of names out there I don't recognize, so I might as well give a quick introduction. Wookie, I am a Scrum Lord of the policy team and the commander team over in Concave. I am I guess I could say agile coach by trade, but really I teach software organizations how to stand up and scale and grow, right? And we've been doing that within Concave. We've been rocking that out. We built a really good framework here. It's going really well, and you guys are starting to see the progress and the benefit of that piece even. So I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be on this stage. I appreciate our community. I appreciate the hell out of our community, and I think today's going to be a really good discussion. Let's do it.
You can go by my handle on Twitter, which is Farmer Joe. Thank you. Yeah, in a way, like I think I'm not the type of person that tries to play the Ponzi game, and a lot of people have done it successfully and made a lot of money. But I think generally speaking, like when I'm looking at projects and who I kind of want to stand by, it's always backed by some sort of longevity aspect. And I mean, you can go through my Twitter and some of the projects that I talk about. But I think you'll find that they have like a common theme around them of teams thinking long term and the project itself having a viable revenue stream or use case. Yeah, that's a great question. It's been such a long time that I almost don't even remember how I stumbled upon it. But I think it was a combination of you guys blowing up on Twitter and catching my interest and having the Discord invitation come and go every so often. There's definitely an allure to try and join that exclusivity and that alpha. And then I just stayed ever since. But I think for the first 2+ months, I really didn't know what was going on. But I think some of the alpha leaks throughout the way kind of suggested what this might be, and I kind of just held on because I thought that there was a big team working on it, and betting against the masses is usually a bad idea.
Did you want me to jump in with some questions, Akron? Hell yeah. Let's just freestyle straight out, man. A conversation is the best, right? When you get super formal with anything, it gets kludgy. And so, Lucas, I kind of wanted to pick your brain, man. I got a couple staggered questions that kind of feed one into another. So I would just ask, how long have you been in crypto?
Yeah, I've so I mean I was in crypto in 2018 when the whole crazy bull run happened, and I kind of was an observer more than anything, but still kind of paid attention to a few projects and largely focused on learning. I actually joined a crypto team. Um, I'm not going to name anything, but it was in the securities token space. I joined that team, and it was super interesting to see kind of the ins and outs of a project. But kind of stepped away, and as the crypto bear market hit, and professionally pursued other things. But yeah, no, I've always kept in the loop, and something that always was in the back of my head. And then in 2021 or so, yeah, probably in January of last year, I got back into it almost full force. Predominantly focusing on like scaling solutions and Ethereum scaling and layer twos. Had a lot of fun kind of on the Polygon side and whatnot. But yeah, I think decentralization is key, and one thing that I like what Concave's doing is it's decentralizing DeFi and using really interesting economic models to raise a bunch of capital and then use that capital to generate income. I think kind of sticking to my gut and kind of getting burned in the past obviously hurts. I stayed away from anything like super speculative without fundamentals. So I kind of found my niche into projects that have sustainable use cases, good teams, and revenue generating utility, which I didn't get into home for that reason specifically because paying 10 or 50 times treasury value to me it fundamentally didn't make sense at the time. But I think a lot of people just kind of rode the wave, and you left, you made out well, and if you didn't, then you kind of got burned really well. But to me, that's kind of like one of the reasons why I like Concave is because there's a fundamental floor as far as the treasury value is, and then beyond that, just a good team around it developing use cases and revenue streams of different products. So I don't know. I went on a bit of a tangent there, but
No,
been in
man, that's
it
good.
since 2018 as an interest till 2021. Kind of played around working for a team and didn't end up finding myself enjoy that aspect too much, but more so from an investment side and general knowledge set and research, kind of what I enjoy. So that's what I stick with now.
Perfect, man.
Oh man, this is and I think Miauchi said it the best. It's really very simple. Concave, at the core of it is farming or a hedge fund as a service. So that's really what you're buying into in one layer, of course, in one layer. But you're buying into a hedge fund or a business that knows crypto very well, can generate returns on that capital to pay for development. So what you're really getting is a hedge fund and a token development studio, right? Like that's the way I see it. A DeFi development studio.
That's a good yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And I really appreciate what you said. It resonated with me. You're talking about you invest in the team and the people, right? You find where you know your money will be suited. You follow that intuition, and great people will build great things. You don't have to worry about it. I was just thinking while you were talking about joining in 2018. I started similarly, right? The end of the run up in 2017, I came in and I think I bought about like $120 in Litecoin, and I said, I don't even know what the hell this is. And when it hit significantly higher than that, I turned back and looked at myself and I said, wow, there's something real here. There's something going on, right? And so I started really digging. And you look at the crypto winter, the sell off, and all that. As you remember, I mean, we were investing in ideas back then. We were investing in white papers, and you were buying pure
Yeah.
speculation, right? And now we're looking at products adoption, real adoption. So my next question I wanted to ask you was, what are your thoughts on the worldwide adoption currently taking place right now?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and I mean, you know, I think we're still in the infancy. Like people in the traditional realm, it's really hard to let me put it this way: crypto adoption is happening, but crypto investment adoption is the primary driving force right now. When you look at like the actual amount of individuals that are using and interacting on chain, we're kind of in a small bucket if you think about it that way. So we're definitely early in the adoption cycle, because to most people, all they hear in the news is how risky it is to interact on chain and scams and hacks and bridge hacks. It doesn't make anyone feel very comfortable in using some of these dApps and products. And I'll be honest, like most of these dApps, the user interfaces are absolutely horrible. Compared to anything on Web 2, like they're horrendous. So I think we have a lot of building to go through to make it, let's just say product first and blockchain second, such that you're not feeling or having to know exactly about gas and seed phrases and all these things that can be kept in the back end. Because if you look at the internet, for example, like when we interact with the internet, we're as normies and as the general public, like we're not really concerned with what goes on the server end, on the cloud storage, on routing, on IP addresses. I think if you're hardcore crypto, that's kind of the geekiness that we tend to kind of obsess about. And there's a lot of value out of it that you can get at in making decisions and feedback and what direction things are going by knowing this level of detail. But I think we're still a long way ahead in terms of like true on-chain adoption, which is exciting because there's still so much that we can grow, and especially on the DeFi space, like having this whole separate tandem financial economy run in tandem with traditional fiat payments, like it's going to get blended in someday, but obviously regulatory policies are going to keep things in check and make sure that cross-border or peer-to-peer payments are there's going to be more friction, I'm sure, than this whole decentralized dark web style of freedom of everything. Yeah, so I think I'm super happy to see more stable coins, and I'm super happy to see like institutions on the TradFi space pick up on stable coins and learn more about what they are and how they leverage the decentralized finance space. But I still think we're super early, and I think it's good to be early at this point in time because there's still so much growth and so many changes that might happen. But you got to be adaptable, and I think just going back to Concave, there's certain things that I'm sure you guys have worked on that we're going in one direction, but they just weren't viable, and you quickly pivot and work on other high value items. And I think ultimately that's what a good team is all about, just ability to realize when they're going in the wrong direction, stop, cut it early before making an MVP that doesn't really make any sense, and just that relentlessness and that hustle for teams to keep going, right? I think a lot of people just give up in the space way too easily when they don't see results, because there's so many other projects that are doing different things. But people give up too early, I think, and people definitely don't have a long-term view on product, on development, on building a business. And I think that's like one thing that Concave does way different than every other team that I've interacted with, and maybe on like the very junior early stage level. Like, I'm sure there's some teams that are more long-term focused, but I think for the most part, it's very rare to see a team that is trying to build something that's going to be around for more than 2 years. And you even see that with like team vesting, right? Like you see vesting happen after 6 months, after 12 months. Like to me, that's a little bit ridiculous. Like teams should have a longer vesting schedule if they really believe that what they're building is going to be around in the future, right? Anyways.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, no, I
Food for thought.
totally agree. Sir?
Yeah. I mean, just following on from your comments. Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. I guess your analogy about the current UI or UX that exists in the DeFi space, right? Like, and how that relates to being early, right? Because I guess my background is traditionally from platforms on Web 2. And of course, like UX and UI are super important, and the differentiation between what's happening in the back end versus the front and what users interact with is significant. But I guess in the in blockchain world, we're surfacing all of that complexity to users all the time, and I do think it is a huge barrier to adoption, and I think we can definitely do a lot more in that space. Just to add a couple of points to that, I think it's at least from our perspective, I think we've got a very strong design team, and our UI looks good, and but I definitely think we can be doing a better job at the whole experience and trying to remove some of that complexity from the way people interact with certain elements or components that are at the end of the day kind of like profit generation tools and products for CNV holders.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it used to scare me. It used to scare me to add tokens. I'm like, am I adding
Yeah,
this
me
token
too.
right? How do I know this is a real token? Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, small things can make the experience easier to understand and create an on-ramp for the average user who exists in the kind of TradeFi space or even in the, outside of DeFi. I mean, small details like cooling gas fee transaction costs, right? Like, like just even that's easier to understand for the average person. So you have to get your head around gas fees. They're dynamic. What does Gwei mean in relation to into a cost? Like it's really funny, these kind of like small details. I guess it was engineering first, right? Engineering blockchain first and product second, as you mentioned.
Well, it's just
Yeah,
kind of how you
for
look at
sure.
it, right?
MetaMask has done so much for everyone, but I think MetaMask is almost like a blessing and a curse at this point, where it's kind of built by and for the DeFi community or blockchain community by people who have been in this. So I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of evolution in better, smoother wallet experiences. And I know some blockchains like Near, for example, and Aurora, like they seem to have done away with this complexity. But obviously, when you start to do those things, you kind of sacrifice security. I think to some extent that also matters. But you kind of have the trilemma of speed, cost, and security, right? So kind of pick two out of three.
I feel as though as the market matures, we'll see a spectrum of different functionalities and different accessibilities and different user experiences depending upon the demands and the needs of the user, right? If I was to try to show an elderly family member of mine MetaMask, no chance in hell, right? But at some point, they're probably going to want an interface very similar to an online banking experience that they're used to. And so I feel as though different organizations will try to capture different markets differently depending upon the individual that they're looking to get. I find that in the DeFi space, we're generally more of, and I don't want to pat myself too hard on the back, but we're more of like the advanced user slash, the early adopter who's willing to break that trail and to take a machete out in the jungle and cut new paths. I think many will follow. Many will follow.
100%.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, my name's Sir. I work on the policy team. I'm one of the leads on the policy team, working in Mahashi's team. He's a giga Chad, I guess. Yeah, glad to be here. Absolutely love this team. Love contributing to this project and all about the long term. I guess if I was to say a couple of words and to echo some statements already said, I think Voke said it to me right. When I first started contributing to this project, I asked him to define what concave is to me. And he said, concave is about aligning incentives. And what that means at its core, is about aligning the incentives of all stakeholders, whether or not it's like, short-term stakeholders, people looking to trade, long-term stakeholders, people who are contributing to the project, people who are, just on the outside doing small contributions to the project. It's all about aligning all of those incentive structures such that, everyone, everyone wins and everyone has, an opportunity to play in the protocol.
No, for sure. And I think like the first one that I think that a lot of people have is, right now, Concave is viewed as kind of the lazy treasury. I wouldn't say it's lazy, but it's patient. But I think most people are waiting for the treasury to generate alpha, right? And how close are we from deploying our portfolio management approach in all the ways that you guys have structured it and sliced it? How close are we from seeing returns from the treasury in excess of stablecoin farming returns.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. So the way I mean, to start off with, like, how far are we away from deploying the treasury? So I think one really interesting aspect to cover here is, even if we were to deploy the full treasury across various portfolios right now, right, that the amount that would be invested would be, I guess, small potatoes in comparison to the amount of revenue we expect to generate or increase the treasury size with through, bonding activity. So I guess one aspect to this is really, I think the deployment of the treasury will come as we get a gauge, or will slowly ramp up as we gauge the kind of like average treasury returns that we're expecting through bonding. And of course, there are market dynamics involved in that, which make exact projections pretty hard at this stage. However, in the background, I know, for a lot of, the kind of like non-naive audience, and I think most of the concave community is very well educated, have seen like various threads, from one of the guys that we work with on the team, Franklin, who's helping us manage various portfolios, about some of the returns that we have seen in test portfolios so far. We do have, of course, the standard trading portfolio. We have a VC arm. We are looking at delta neutral and stable farming as well. So in terms of, delta neutral, we have built the prototype of that. We're beginning to ramp up testing on that right now, in terms of like scaling it. But we will be doing that slowly to ensure that all bases are covered. We have various, I guess, tricks, mathematicians, and great engineers on the team who are helping build in various indexes and indicators to make sure that we can maintain safe delta neutral positions over time. And aside from that, in terms of the VC arm, not to drop too much alpha, but we already have made some VC investments. We can't exactly say the sorry, what?
Curvents.
Yeah, so we can't exactly say we can't actually share some of the names of some of those VC investments. That there have been a couple so far, but we're in ongoing discussions with our partners around those things. So you'll see more of that to come, and being very early and having the relationships with these projects is a big part of that. And then, standard trading portfolio. Of course, we'll be making some short-term trades. We have traders on the team. We're part of various alpha channels. We generate our own alpha internally. We have investment researchers, and we also look to also gauge alpha from the community as well, and then reward anyone for an investment that we make. So that's all part and play of this whole protocol and community element that we're trying to build here. On that particular test portfolio, on the trade portfolio, I think there was a 70% return in 3 months during what some would class as a bear market. I don't think it's one of the true bears that we've seen, but it wasn't exactly a golden period for DeFi and crypto. So yeah, I guess it will be ramped up slowly as a function of bonding revenue and how our treasury is increasing over time. We maintain that we want to stay on the safe side and ramp things up very slowly. It's very easy just to jump into and ape into trades, but we're treating this truly like a hedge fund, and doing the gauging the right risk analysis across the board as we go. Right now, of course, our main concentration is on the final stages of the MVP. Obviously, that's still 2 stages to that: the bonding part, the staking part, which will be coming very soon, and then right after that, the NFT marketplace, and then more to come on the AMM.
Well
For sure.
stated, sir. The only thing I would change, sir, is that bear market talk. You get that out of here. I would call this a reaccumulation zone in a massive trading range that we're about to step up into. That's why I asked that
Right.
worldwide adoption question earlier.
By the way, Wiki is the biggest bull we have in the server. I would probably class myself as like a general bear. I always have bearish sentiment, so you'll see me on the conservative side, but it's very good to get very different flavors. I mean, of course, the long term, I'm super bullish, man. I can definitely see, BTC being a true reserve currency, and DeFi, following suit with various financial lines around, and products and services around crypto.
I did want to add one point to Farmer Joe's point earlier, he was talking about Concave and it being, a flexible organization, right? Where crypto is still so early, DeFi is still so early. How do you prepare yourself? And I think that's one of the major strengths that Concave has is we set up a framework that is very flexible. I had stated earlier, one of my roles is as an agile coach. Those of you who are in like enterprise software in the corporate world, things on and so on and so forth. There, the term agile is used a lot, right? But really, my first coach I ever had that taught me how to do the things I do today had said that if you can't interchange the word flexible with the word agile in your framework for your business, you're doing it wrong, right? And so we're in a market where things are pivoting and changing so rapidly. We need Concave to be able to adapt very quickly with market conditions to grow and change. And one of the things I've been one of the mentalities that I've tried to instill here is there's different types of organizations, right? And the classic corporate environment would be like a spider organization where you have a big fat body and these little skinny legs. But if you start chopping off those legs, that spider's done. The whole thing's going to fold up and die. I've tried to instill a mindset of the starfish here at Concave as well. And so we can grow, we can cut off a piece if there's an issue, if it's not working, if it's not producing, if it doesn't work in these market conditions, and at the same time potentially grow that piece as well into its own starfish as we grow and thrive in another direction. So I could not be more bullish, not just on this market, sir, but on Concave as a whole and what we're building here. This thing is very, very strong. I have never seen a community like this, the strength of this community. I mean, I've been in 100 different corporate meetings where you have some executive droning on about we need diversity metrics. The most diverse group I have ever seen was karaoke an hour ago where we had people in multiple languages singing songs and being friends with us. I mean, you don't have to force that. It's natural here. People gravitate from all walks of life to Concave, and that's one thing that I do love about this place. That's all I had.
I guess, I guess, I guess, sir, maybe just a follow-on question to what you'd said earlier. I mean, it sounds like you guys are slow and cautious to deploying the treasury, but is there a risk that without deploying the treasury into something more than stable farming, or at least at launch, that bonding revenues or treasury itself won't accumulate as quickly as maybe some people expected to?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's an opportunity cost to, yeah, I mean, of course, there's always an opportunity cost to these things, and I think that's a very valid point. But I guess we've stressed many times everything's about the long term here. We do have test portfolios up and running now. It is possible for us to scale them, but we want to scale those in a conservative manner to ensure that what we're doing is generating a long term, reward structure. We want to be good stewards, and treat this like a hedge fund, and the relevant risk analysis is needed, on that, and the relevant tests on scaling is needed on that. But I do expect, it is true though that the reward structure isn't wholly based on the hedge fund aspect, and I do like to kind of emphasize this point that not only is Concave a hedge fund, it's financial product and service from that extent, but it's really a number of financial products that also generate return. For some people, you may have already noticed our AMM is generating returns right now already, and those returns will be rewarded back to stakers. There is a 5 bit fee that's associated with our AMM that's being rotated back into liquidity, and that liquidity will be withdrawn and sent to some of that liquidity will be withdrawn into drop some alpha. The way that we'll probably be doing that is withdraw the liquidity, pull the die out from one side of the pair, and then burn the CNV, and then reward that back to stakers in the quarterly dividend. So that's one revenue stream. That's one revenue stream through the AMM already. There are other revenue streams, on the hedge fund. There's revenue streams on the NFT marketplace, and as we scale up other products that also have yield opportunities, they'll also be rewarded back to stakers. Stakers are really, long-term holders, here for the long run, here to get the dividend, here to contribute to the project. P token holders, I would say, are right at the top of that equation, yeah, in terms of the long term, truly incentivized to hold it for the long term. Pretty much no point in redeeming P tokens early. So yeah, everything's been built in a manner to try and build for that long term. So it's not just the hedge fund, it's the products that we also build and the yield opportunities that exist there, and the strong community that we build around this, and the various kind of lines and other products we can all think up together. I mean, there have been crazy and amazing ideas here. Concave is a blank piece of paper we can all build on.
One point I would Sorry, sir. I was just saying one point I would tack on to Sert's point there. Highly recommend, if you haven't read the documentation he's put out on dividends and the P token, definitely recommend. I've heard it before. The way it's referenced is the P token is a very elegant solution to align those incentives, like we talked about. Like you were saying, Farmer Joe, about some projects having like a 6 month, vesting. You're all set, dump on the project, and take off into the woods kind of situation. We are completely incentivized to keep building. I mean, I'm going to do this even long after retirement, long after whatever it is. I like what I do. I had fun singing karaoke today. I like the people I spend time with and interact with here. So I'm always going to stick around, but I'm also incentivized to do so, to make sure that Concave is successful long beyond the time that I'm actively helping scrum teams and things like that. It's in my best interest to make sure we never stop growing and building. And it's in everybody who's involved with this' best interest to make sure we never stop building and growing. So it really is an elegant solution to align those incentives.
Yeah, just to clarify, I don't. Is the P token document out, the new one I've written up? I don't know if it is.
Sorry,
I think
I didn't
just the
know.
dividends. Yeah, but
Okay,
yeah,
so
no
there's
worries.
alpha
I
coming.
think we'll
There's
release
alpha
that.
coming.
Yeah, we'll release that very soon.
I don't think I've seen anything, because I know it's been discussed that it no longer takes one die to redeem for your P tokens. So I'm sure that CERT's documentation kind of elaborates more on the structure, which I think everyone's excited to hear about.
Yeah. No worries. Oh. Come on. I'm gonna fall from grace at some point.
That redemption arc, though.
The redemption arc is coming. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So policies kind of broadly split between, two major aspects. Our team is split down. One is more on the kind of technical product side. What I mean by product is building, yield generating products. The secondary market for lock staking positions, that's a yield generating product, right? The mechanics surrounding bonding and lock staking, that's a product. And then there is the kind of like more heavy on investment side, and then on the investment side it's then split between various portfolios. So the teams really kind of down those two lines mainly. I more concentrate on the product side. I am involved slightly or somewhat in the automated strategy side of things. And I am involved in that, but we do have some chads within the contributor team who are heavily working on that kind of day to day. So in terms of what the policy team will continue to work on, it's these things. These are our main priorities. But in terms of like post MVP, and by MVP I mean our launch is staggered. We have, let's say, 3 kind of stages of our MVP launch. The initial token launch, which is done, the bonding and lock staking, which we are currently doing very rigorous testing on right now, and should be out around about mid-month, maybe slightly later, and then the NFT marketplace for the secondary market. after that, what is the concentration? I mean, from my perspective, my concentration will be mainly on helping to scale our automated strategies and begin, leveraging treasury funds for those and moving them out of test portfolios. So I think that's kind of one aspect. The secondary aspect as well is other products and services that we can offer other businesses within the space. I think this has been mentioned a number of times. We are looking to build, SaaS products here, like whereby we can offer bonding, lock staking, and various, composable or customized mechanisms around that to other businesses, DAOs, and protocols that exist within the space, and take a fee for that will also be rewarded back to stakers. So my concentration will probably be in those two areas. One on the SaaS product, and then on the automated strategy side of things. But aside from that, the team's extremely hard at work all of the time on various aspects of the model.
Awesome.
Another thing to consider too, if you don't mind me jumping in, is we're talking a lot about engineering and policy, right? Like we have some really, really, and I'm not just saying this because I put time into this. I'm not just saying this because I'm invested person. I'm saying this because I mean it. We're surrounded in brilliant people. I'm surrounded in brilliant people every day, and I appreciate the hell out of that. And they have some amazing ideas, and they're going to build them, right? But I also have always loved the digital Burning Man feel of Concave as well, where if we have something cool like this podcast itself, like hey, should we do a podcast? Yeah, let's do it, right? Hey, should we do karaoke? Should we do concave records? Should we do whatever it is? We kind of just let people run with it as well, and we can build that whatever somebody's heart's desire, right? We can build that and turn it into a USP, and if there's any revenue that comes out of that, that revenue then gets distributed back to the stakers again. So it's almost like we build, I mean, that's hence the builder co-op, right? We build cool shit and we have fun while we're doing it. And it incentivizes everyone to be successful while they do. And so to say where we're going for sure, hell, I don't know. It's the sky is the limit. Let's build some really cool things. Let's go new ways. Let's go new directions, and let's find things that we all appreciate. And so that's a hard question to answer because it's almost like asking us to define the imagination.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you, Palmer. I mean, what is the thing that you like the most, and what is the thing you would like to see the most out of this project? Like, what's the kind of linchpin that keeps you here, keeps you contributing, keeps you live in the community? And then what's the, if you could prioritize the thing that you would like to see, let's say in the next 3 months, what would that be?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think one, seeing something like a strategy that's more long-winded is obviously super helpful to see, but I think gains, treasury gains is like number one. I want to see you guys do some really cool things with it in a way that kind of is hedged against market volatility and any sort of downturns. There's been a lot of talks about policy in general, so I think my attention is really focused on the performance there. And then from the staking and bonding side, I think you guys have mathematically figured out a model that makes sense. But I hope other people are as excited as I am about putting your money into a group and having that co-op create really useful cases with that capital that you've contributed, to then have USPs that drive value to the token holders, but also drive value to the token holders that have been there, maybe not from day one, but from to the ones that believe in it most long term, right? I think short term of people just buying and selling CNV, yeah, sure. I mean, like they can do whatever they want with it, but as soon as you lock it up for longer as a long-term investor, I think capital should flow to you first over someone who's kind of here to collect one dividend payment and leave in 45 days. So yeah, I think if you're looking at like 3 month aspects, I think having more LPs in the AMM would be something that I look forward to. And then if there's any sort of new product development, I don't know. I've seen some kind of conceptual MVPs that or conceptual USPs that were there in the Git book, I think it was, which are now gone. I'm not sure if those are now early adopter alpha, but if some of those were to come back into existence, then certainly I think there's a lot of cool things to come in the next 3 months. Maybe you can maybe you guys can touch on why those were removed. Is it just stealth projects, or are those pivots because they're no longer sustainable?
It'd be really interesting to hear what's I'm not sure what was in the Git book before or
Oh,
after.
okay. Well, I saw something about kind of a lending market or yeah, just like one being a lending market, and then two, there was a sketch of how a potential collateral based backed stablecoin might work, whether that would be
Okay.
with CND or with Ohm. I don't know exactly I can't remember now what it was, but something along those lines.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, actually, we've dropped the alpha and learning and lending markets many times. I mean, it's definitely a concentration for us as a product set. In after the initial product set is rolled out, I can't give estimates or timelines on that right now, but we do have initial sketches, designs, and thoughts on that. Yeah, so that's definitely very much on the cards, and it has a stable coin backed by some collateral has also been suggested many times. So yeah, those types of things are definitely well on the cards. The idea is to build products, to prioritize products that that are yield generation opportunities for stakers and stakeholders within the protocol. So anything's on the cards, lowest hanging fruit.
And gotcha. No, that's neat. I guess kind of going backwards, and I should have asked this right at the start, but maybe you guys have answered this in separate podcasts. But how did you guys all get involved with Concave individually?
I followed my intuition. That's the best way to put it, man. Personally, I was invited to TNA Capital, which is a trading group, basically an alpha group. And I just so happened to be in the room at the time when the original allegory of the cave meme was being made. And I just kind of stumbled into a need that they had on the project, which was, project management slash, scrum masters, that sort of thing. They kind of had an idea of the direction they wanted to go. And I was perfectly lined up in the right place at the right time, following that intuition.
Sir?
Starts doing some
Yeah,
pasta.
I'll see some copy pasta eventually. By the way, that was by far my favorite pasta that came out of the launch stage. It was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I've been very interested in crypto and the blockchain space for a long time. I mean, my background's in software development and machine learning in Web2 and working on various platforms. So I guess that's where I've come from. I'm quite a kind of mechanical, technical, I guess, type of person, and have been working with engineering type teams and I guess machine learning engineers for quite a long time. So I guess my skill set was quite suited to some of the more technical aspects that were that were useful in this team. And then, yeah, the way that I joined this project, directly was, I actually really got into DeFi about 6-7 months ago, and I started trying to build basically trading bots that were doing delta neutral strategies on some of the cheaper chains, where there were just crazy emissions going, and it was pretty easy to make money. And yeah, I was just finding that super fun. I basically heard of Concave through, I think there was a YouTuber who mentioned it, and I was really turned on by the whole gated access as well. I think you kind of mentioned that point, Father. I was just like, dude, this is like the way that Facebook kind of like initially launched. It creates crazy bullish action, just to try and even get in there and understand it. Then I was kind of mesmerized by like the craziness of the whole situation. I was like, what is this? Like am I in the dream? Is this hell? Like, this is absolutely crazy. Psyops everywhere trying to work it out. Again, blank piece of paper, implant your dreams on it type of situation. So I thought, yeah, it was super interesting. I was just contributing, within the within the server, and then yeah, eventually I was asked to work for the policy team by Mayashi. I think he put together a questionnaire for a number of people to apply. I filled out the questionnaire, or actually I didn't fill out the questionnaire. Then he reached out to me and asked me to, and I did do it. I was pretty busy at the time, and yeah, I joined into, I guess, the contributor team around mid-December. And since then, it's been kind of very smooth sailing. I've learned a lot very quick. I've been educated by all the people around me. It's extremely well organized, and yeah, I now hate my day job. So
I'm curious, sir. Are you primarily involved in more so like the treasury piece, or are you kind of the giga brain behind the non-dilutive staking bonding mechanism?
so I've been working a lot with the engineering team and policy around the token mechanics. So I guess that's like a field that I've gone quite heavily into. And again, my kind of secondary concentration is around automated trading strategies, but I will defer to other more technical people on the team who are actually developing those those strategies for us. So yeah, I guess that's my concentration. My background is in software products, kind of more like architecture, design, overall mechanics, those types of things. So that's what I apply here.
Great, good to know. Sure, go for it. Bear, I, I think a gorilla would win. To be honest, I think bigger, stronger, smarter.
I would wonder what kind of an event would lead up to a bear and a gorilla fighting, and then I would sit back and let it
Yeah,
happen.
it's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to picture it.
Oh, it's a cage. Oh, it's not wild.
Cage match. Shit.
Maybe it's just like
yeah.
maybe it's like a chill fest, they just sit down, they're chilling.
Yeah, why can't you just
Definitely
hang
changing
out?
my mind on that. The bear's got the teeth. The bear's got the claws. The gorilla.
Why they gotta
well,
fight?
Duck-sized horses, definitely. That'd be hilarious. You
Yeah,
just like
definitely.
kick them away, you just bat them off.
You get tired though. That's a lot of them.
Duck
a lot of them,
I think-
but I agree with that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the 100 on that one as well.
With
That
the
sounds like an
100,
easier
yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty scary, dude. I wouldn't want to fight fight a horse-sized duck, like huge. Or
Tall
NBA.
for me.
I
How
would
tall are
say
we
tall,
talking?
but sorry, go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was saying, how tall are we talking? Freakish. Like,
Oh, I'm going with short. I'm going with short. There's way too many health problems with being tall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I would say tall as well, but yeah, that's all kinds of heart problems and stuff that happens at that size. I would ask why we're changing sizes here.
this
Well,
is a hard
I'm gonna go.
question.
Oh man. What?
One of each, I think. Get the
What?
robot arm, robot leg. Maybe cut off
Yeah.
the rest and just go full robot. Who knows? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, one of each. At least you have the ability to still function with a hand and a leg.
Yeah, that's a
Crush
tough
it.
one.
It's a nay for me. It's a nay. No way.
Yeah, I'm bearish
Too
on
sweet.
that.
I've done it, but it's not my favorite. It's okay. You know, I'm neutral.
Pineapple in a salad.
Great divider.
Oh snap!
Mike wants to send you a lot of love me wipes. I send you a lot of love, family. We're doing good. We have a beautiful family. Everything is amazing. And I'm very happy to see you all here. Sending you a lot of love from Mexico.
What's up, Bike?
Glad to have you, buddy.
Oh, yeah. And Boki. The community doesn't understand that you kick all our asses. Boki is kicking us each day. Boom, 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 pushing us to become the best. And therefore, I say thank you, Boki. There's not many people who have this skill to be so nice while fucking us. So thank you very much for this.
Hey, sir. I ask a lot of the team. I am but a humble coach, right? I ask a lot, but I just want to see the best out of the team, and I love the fact this team performs consistently. You guys never stop surprising and never stop impressing me. So I love the Concave family. I appreciate you all.
We feel this. Akarin, I want to give another compliment to Sert. He is a guy so close to the community. I love that, seeing him in there, giving this professional content to the community. He answers everything in the most professional way I have ever seen in DeFi. Sert, you are real chat. Thank you very much, man.
I'm waiting for the redemption arc now.
Redemption arc.
Yeah, fade me, guys. It's not me. This team's absolutely insane. I learn from them every day.
Yeah, no, guys, thanks for having me. This has been super fun, super helpful. Keep building, and I got no doubt that really amazing stuff is ahead. So everyone stay bullish. You got reason.
Lucas, you think I'm going to leave this podcast without telling you that you're an amazing community member? Thank you very much for your love. Thank you very much how you spread the WAGMI. You have a very high knowledge.
I try, you know.
Bro, you're
Shoot down
giving
all the
giving all your love to the family. I see this each time you posting and commenting, you really giving it because you want to give it. And this is the beauty in this community. We're never forcing anybody to be here. Every one of you is here because he wants to be here. And this gives this project such a great energy. If you're going out into this world like I do, traveling, and I do the things that I love, I do them because I want to do them. I feel free. And when I saw you the first time posting here, I felt like this dude, he wants to be here. He wants to give his energy. And therefore, bro, I say thank you very much. You made it already in life because you are free and you do what you love. And we all do this here in Concave. We do things that we love. Think about what we can create from this energy. Fuck, imagine not being bullish on Concave.
Thank you. Bye, guys.